What's up guys, it's Zackatar, back with another How to Drums. Today it's going to be a little different. We're going to be talking about how to change your heads and how to tune them. Or kind of the way that I do it. I haven't done this in a while and I wanted to start the year off clean. So let's go ahead and get started and get into the tips. First and foremost, you need to keep everything clean. That includes your stand, your stick bags, the inside of the stick bags, the cover, everything. It's not just the drums and the heads you need to keep clean, because especially if they're not yours, say you're marching a drum corps, WGI, you're in middle school, high school, it does not matter. Even if it's your own set, you just got to keep it clean. When it comes to taking heads off, you don't want to just do one single lug at a time, like just one completely and leave everything else to warp. That'll damage your rims, it could damage the shell and everything. So take two keys if you have two of them, kind of go evenly, but you know, make sure the tension is good around all of it. And you can see that I'm loosening it and taking the rim off. Next piece of advice is keeping the rim how it was off the drum so that later you can turn it left or right depending on what you want to do to make sure that the rim gets full usage. And what I mean by this is if you don't ever change it, it's only ever going to get warped in one single spot. Also, look at this. Yeah, look how nasty this is. I haven't cleaned this in like 2 years or whatnot. Like, don't be like me. Be a little more proactive about cleaning your drums. So taking off heads is pretty simple. It's the same way as putting them back on. So I'm going to tell you kind of the way to do it if you only have one key. Starting at spike, you can go in kind of like an X pattern. When you get to Spock, you want to go more of a star pattern. On drum one is a little different because there's only 6 lugs on this. Just go across from each other and then move to the next 2 sets. And then all the other drums have 8 lugs. This one is pretty simple and a little confusing at the same time. You start on 1 lug, then you move over 3 and you just continuously do that because it'll eventually take you back to the original starting point. I also suggest having a couple plates around. You can put your rims down on it. You can put your lugs, just anything that's going to be taken off the drum. You want to keep it in one spot so that you know exactly where it is and it doesn't go rolling off and you lose a piece that you have to replace eventually. Now that all the heads and rims are off, you can lay the drums flat to make sure that it is flat. And if it isn't, then just adjust it with some tools and then check the trim protectors. I don't know if this is what it's actually called, but that's what I call them. Pearl has a really good one where you could squeeze them and put them back on. I highly suggest these ones. Last thing we're gonna do before we put the heads back on is use a bar of wax. I got this off of Amazon. It increases the longevity of the bearing edge, so go ahead and do that to keep your drums good. This tip is optional, but it's recommended to go ahead and clean all the screws and the washers just to make sure that nothing gets stuck and you have the best equipment for your drum. Now that we got the heads placed on the drum, it's time to get the rims back on. But first, we need to grease the screws. Greasing the screws will ensure that we're able to screw these down with ease. It helps with the tuning and makes the process a lot smoother. What I'm using is this white lithium grease. You can find this at like any hardware store like Home Depot or Lowe's, but I'm mainly using it because it's a spray can, makes it super easy to not overdo how much I'm putting on because it'll eventually collect in the lugs, so keep that in mind. The time has finally come to put the rim on. Just remember to rotate it left or right 1 lug and keep it consistent with all your things, including the next time you change your drum heads. We're not officially tuning the heads yet, but you want to make sure to put a little tension in it so that the heads don't move. So when you do go to tune it, the logo's facing the correct direction. Since I was on a time crunch, I went ahead and started tuning them before putting all the rims on. You could do it either way, but realistically, you want to kind of tune them not to where you want to play them, but so that they can stretch so that the next day you can officially tune them and it gives the heads some time to really set in. Now that we're actually tuning, let's get into what you should tune to. So the basics in tuning quads starting from drum 4 is you want to go a minor third, major second, minor third, tune the drum 4, tune the drum 2. It's okay if you don't understand what that means. As you can see, I'm still typing out what the most common tunings are. Just choose what you like, tune to what sounds good, but overall, just respect what your techs decide to do when tuning your drums. Let's go. So that's pretty much it, and right here you're gonna hear what they actually sound like to the next video that I'm actually gonna be recording. Feel the wrath. Feel the wrath. That should be fairly easy to guess what I'm gonna be playing for the next video. Anyways, I know I went through this pretty fast, but I wanted it to be a shorter video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya!